Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now.
Deal. Because my husband has all over the internet about having sex with his wife with cancer. It was hella disrespectful, and it doesn't protect me.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's season 6, episode 28. I actually kind of like this episode. So we start with the double date that Stormi planned with Tisha and Marsau. Marsau is actually trying to have a conversation and actually be respectful with Stormi, but Stormi just walked out while he was talking to go take a phone call, and Tisha says, like, how y'all gonna invite us and then leave? And Stormi says, well, things came up and y'all were late anyway. I don't know, Marsau and Tisha came in there to have a good time and like actually bond with them, but Stormi came in to be weird. Stormi also makes a shady, dumb comment about Tisha's energy last time they were with each other. So Tisha is taking a little bit aback because it was kind of passive aggressive. Like, what the hell? So Marsau says, okay, well, until next time. And they sort of say, well, there won't be a next time. That was very odd. And I really don't think that Marsau and Tisha care about them like that. Like, let's be real. It's not like they're going to use them for clout. But I don't know, I just find it weird because I think they were actually genuinely there trying to have a good time. But that was that. Next up, Maurice and Kimmi are at home, and she tells them that she is going to be bringing a sex therapist in, like, right now. She actually talked about this before in a few episodes past. So that therapist comes, and what she does is that she talks to them one-on-one. So she separates them. She first talks to Kimmi, and Kimmi says that she's never really had a problem when it comes to her sex life. Yes, he's always been the one that has wanted it more, but she's never had a problem. But now with the chemo and all of that, her libido is like 0. And then the therapist talks to Maurice, and oh my gosh, this man is still talking about all of this being in Kimmi's head. He even connects it to an eating disorder. Luckily, the therapist tells him that radiation and chemo takes an extreme effect on the body, so it's gonna take time and patience. Then she brings them together and asks them about intimacy and what that looks like for them. What is their love language and stuff like that. And it turns out that Kimmi says that it actually turns her on when she sees Maurice doing stuff around the house. Like, I don't know, putting up a painting or something. Like, just something that has to do with his hands. And then she makes them like sit crisscross applesauce, but then makes Kimmi like sit on his lap. So she's like on top of him in a way. And she's saying that they're going to have to do that every night. It's going to be their little exercise to begin. And I actually like this sex therapist. Like, she was super nice and looked like she knew what she was talking about. Okay, moving on. Miss Nell and Chris Fletcher are in some cowboy themed restaurant. And they have multiple boxes with cowboy hats. And they invited the whole group. This shows you how classy Marsau and Tisha are. When they got there, they said hi to both Stormi and Courtney. Tisha even hugged both of them, you know, even though they did that screwed up bullcrap in the beginning. But Stormi and Courtney were just sitting there kind of rude, just not saying anything. Stormi talked crap in her confessional about Tisha going up and hugging her, but I know damn well that had Tisha not hugged her or said hi, she would have been pissed about that too. Melody is there, so is Martell. Like I said, everyone is there. There is tension between Melody. She does not want to be in the same room with Martell whatsoever. But the question is, why are they there? So the reason they're there and why they got the cowboy hats and why they're in that restaurant is because they're going to Houston, Texas. Yeehaw! Hell yeah, give it up to Texas. So that's pretty cool. They are excited. Melody, she's alright about it. But everyone else is happy and they're talking about going and having a good time. But Stormi and Courtney are just sitting there with like resting bee faces. So Kimmi says, wait, is everything okay with you, Stormi? Like with you two couples? She was referring to Tisha and Marsau. And then Kimmi takes Stormi to the side to see what's going on. Apparently Stormi is still mad because Tisha said that it wasn't her fault that the web designer copied and pasted the return policy. I don't know what else she wants Tisha to do? Like, does she want her to kiss her shoes? Like, what more can Tisha do? Like, she already apologized. Like, it's time to move on. She's just playing victim, and I'm not impressed. I'm bored by Stormi at this point. And Kimmi in her confessional says that she kind of figured out what's going on. She says that at the end of the day, Marsau and Stormi are so much alike. They're one and the same, and that's probably why they don't get along with each other. Meanwhile, Tisha was talking to Mel and Miss Nell, and little does she know that Stormi has actually been talking to Nell and to them about this whole website thing. So Tisha's over it and says that there's just people that you're just never going to click with, you know. And Marsau and Tisha are thinking that it's been too much. Like, they've actually tried to work past things and with the Steeles, but they don't really want to. So at this point, if there is any animosity, it's coming from them. From the other ones, not from them, not from Marsau and Tisha. It's from the other side. They really don't give an F. They also eat. Since they're at the restaurant, the guys are sitting together, and they say that the trip will be fun as long as the men and women are kept separate. Martell says something along the lines of like, oh, well, I don't have a woman, so I don't have to worry about that anyway. And Chris Fletcher is shady. He says, yeah, you lost your woman, and you lost your last name with her too. That was so funny. After that, Miss Nell writes the bowl, and she was feeling it, okay? And then there were two other girls that got on top of it at the same time. Chris liked that picture. Okay, you guys, then they arrive in Houston. They even edited it to make it look like the intro of a novela. But the house was very nice. Melody gets there first, and she has a few things to say to the Fletchers, okay? Some guidelines. She says, please, no little games, no little activities where y'all gonna put me and Martell next to each other, okay? Try to keep us as separate as you can, because she's not feeling it. Like, this is not a game for her. And it's moments like these where I wish that they would show us what's really going on. Why can't she be in the same room with Martell? We kind of have a general idea, but we should go more into detail. But they don't really show us reality in this show anymore. More people begin to arrive. Nell does mention that the Whitlows were invited, but they're not coming. Okay, so then they distribute the rooms. They obviously don't have to worry about who will be sharing them because each couple will have their own. But it does become a conversation about who gets what room. These people on reality TV and choosing a room, they are so extra, but it's hilarious. And I do love the fact that it was the Fletchers who were hosting the trip. I really like them. They're definitely taking over Huntsville. Okay, so once they go to the rooms, Kimmy and Maurice are discussing something that Maurice apparently did. So he was in the internet talking about their intimate life. Looks like she's referring to the Carlos King interview. Maurice did talk about the sex that he needs and all this, so she's checking him because she tells him it was very disrespectful. She had to answer questions to her mother. It was a lot. He knows that he was wrong, but he be thinking he's funny sometimes, but he does apologize. She says, you need to apologize to my mom too. At the end of the day, let me tell y'all something. Kimmy loves Maurice, and it's so clear. I think out of all the women, she's the one that loves her husband even more. Even when she is quote unquote mad at him, you can see the love. And they even role played how he's gonna apologize to Kimmy's mom and for saying those things about Kimmi. And then they do that exercise from earlier, and they even kissed. So love that. Okay, on the other room, Marsau and Tisha are unpacking and stuff, and they talk about Tifanny and Lo not being there. And Tisha recently bumped into Tifanny at the store, and she was like, baby Ace is so cute. Speaking of baby, she says that, remember that I was sick lately? Well, those symptoms I haven't felt since I was pregnant. And she took a pregnancy test, and he says you know I got a vasectomy, right? She says that sometimes those don't work. He says if she got pregnant, his first thought wouldn't be that the vasectomy didn't work. It would be, go get a freaking blood test. She says, well, then after the blood test, I would leave you. And then he says, no, I would leave you first. A little bit of gaslighting. Tisha starts to say, you are very disrespectful. But again, I said this in previous episodes before. I feel like Tisha and Marsau are so performative. I feel like they're doing all this on purpose just to give us something to talk about. I don't believe any of it, so I'm not going to put any energy into that. But that was the end of the episode. Now, something that will happen is that Martell's going to bring a chick into the room, into the house next episode. So that will be very interesting. You guys, I can't wait for next week. like I said, I did enjoy this episode. Let me know your thoughts about Stormi and why is she acting like this? What do you make of it? And just go ahead and tell me what you think about Tisha and this whole pregnancy thing. You guys have a great one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.